a procedural difference. I'm going to do all that, but I think it's the board's responsibility to take the results of this amenity analysis and at least give management some direction in areas that they think things should be implemented. And this was done by the board for the board, and for me to institute changes, but for me to take it on my own with no direction from the board and start implementing changes, I don't think that is going to give the community's voice. For the same reason we're holding the workshop before, the community needs to speak to the board needs to tell me in a general term. Fixing golf races and things like that, we're already doing. So.
I guess I still have a disconnect. The board establishes policy. You've used that word again, that we're going to direct you in certain areas. That's where my confusion comes in. I explained this 2 years ago with the governance model. There is no getting a little pregnant with the governance model. You either adopt it in its entirety or you fail. Now we are doing something that the GM has the role and responsibility to do. You're the one who was hired as the expert to fix the problem. The board has no experience in doing this. None of us have ever done this before. You were hired because you've had that experience.
Yeah, my feeling is I looked at all of this, and Neil, I looked you on the phone, is that my sense, most of this stuff really belongs to the general managers. I mean, you take a look at some of their recommendations. Aggressively market dining options to all residents. Is the board going to do that? Implement a balanced scorecard approach to department head performance measurement. The board going to do that? Review protocols surrounding employee meals. Are we going to do that? My thought was most of this stuff belongs with the general manager. Let him develop a plan that responds to this analysis and have the board review it and approve it.
Additional comment? Talking about the process we're going to use next week.
I mean, certainly the ones I looked at, the board could and should probably have input into, is the food and beverage minimum. We could give guidance on that, too. So there's some that we can do, but I would venture to guess 90-95% of this rests with the general manager.
I don't think anybody disagrees with it.
Kevin just discussed his policy, the food and beverage minimum. I have no issue with that. But coming up with fee structures for amenities and trying to solve the golf problem, that is not the board's responsibility. We can give him policy, up to him to solve how he implements that policy.
The only comment I would like to make is I agree with Bob's analysis that we do create policy. The critical thing that I believe is going on here is that we're looking at the possibility of dramatic changes coming to Heritage Pines to solve the division of the community regarding amenities, including golf. Having said that, putting our heads together and giving input to the general manager is to his advantage and to ours. So we're not going to dictate that he will do this to us. But I don't think it's harmful for us to be helpful, and that's where I want to go with it.
So I would also like to add that I said that the general manager is going to bring some recommendations forward meeting on the 6th. It may be that we'll either approve those or we may use the word endorse. I think the board needs to decide how they want to handle that.
Well, my suggestion, Neil, and I agree with Jen, I'm not suggesting we don't help in any way we can. I just want to make sure the board and the general manager clearly understands who has the monkey on the back, not the board. So my suggestion is we go through each of these recommendations and we decide how we're going to proceed.
Yeah, I never thought I'd have a monkey on my back here since I've been here for 2.5 years. You brought me in to solve a lot of things, and I have, and this management team has. I looked at this process as the board is the voice of the residents, and you are elected by the residents and you're their voice. And I'm looking for counsel from the board on these issues that have been brought up in the amenity analysis. As you know, I'm fully aware and fully functional. I will implement, if change is necessary, I will implement. But I do need the board's counsel. One of the reasons we bought this glad in here is this golf issue is very politically charged, very polarizing. It's not fair to place the general manager or management team that didn't create this. It was existing for many years before the general manager got here, and put the monkey on his back when it comes to golf.
Whose responsibility was it then? Ours?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I go back to, let's go through every recommendation, and all the list of recommendations that they have here. Let's go through every one and decide, in terms of the process, how we're going to deal with each issue.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
They start on page 53 of the analysis. So the first item there is aggressively market dining options to all residents. Well, that's where it starts, page 53. It's too bad, I guess the residents don't have it, don't have the copy.
Mayor,
Sure.
we were just looking at this. We have a new committee, Kevin, Val, and myself, for our goals and objectives for next year, for the GM and for the board. And we were just looking over some of these items. And something like aggressively market dining options to all residents, we really do a lot in that direction already. Now, some of these items, some of these items that are on the list, I think they apply to other country clubs and not specifically where they looked into in detail to what we have. They might not have been aware of how much we do, especially with the email bulletins that go out. We're aggressively marketing dining options. Now, could there be more? The second item, I'm jumping, Kevin, if you don't mind. Implement consistent outreach programs to infrequent users. It's very similar, but maybe we could reach other people with flyers or some other